Although he was a dedicated hockey player as a pro in the minor leagues in Canada States and the elite leagues all across Europe, when Lonnie Loach first made the NHL and eventually played in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Montreal Canadiens in '93, we all said to himself, well, good things happen to good people. Unfortunately, the great Lonnie Loach has passed away at the age of 57 at his home in Ontario on December 1st, 2025. Now, Lonnie Temple Loach was a Canadian pro ice hockey player. He spent the majority of his career in the International Hockey League, but also played briefly in NHL with the Senators, Kings, and Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. He played left wing and shot left-handed. He appeared in 1,000 pro hockey games and won the Memorial Cup of the Canadian Hockey League, the Calder Cup of the American Hockey League, and was on the runner-up squads for both the Turner Cup of the IHL and the Stanley Cup of the NHL. Born in New Liskeard, Ontario, and of course passed away at his residence. 5'10", 185, 98 overall in the 86 draft. He was selected by the Guelph Platters of the Ontario Hockey League in the first round, third overall, in the 85 OHL priority draft. He joined the Platters for the 86 season, playing in 65 contests, scoring 55 goals and 83 points. He was named the OHL's Rookie of the Year. Coached by future NHL head boss Jacques Martin, the Platters made the OHL playoffs, and Loach played in 20 games with 7 goals and 15 points as Guelph went all the way to the final. They won the J. Ross Robinson Cup as league champions. Now invited to the 86 Memorial Cup tournament, along with the Hull Olympics of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Kamloops Blazers of the WHL, and the host Portland Winterhawks, also the WHL. The Platters faced the Olympics in the final. Loach scored a goal in the 6-2 victory over Hull, winning the Memorial Cup. Loach returned to the Platters for 87 and played in 56 contests, registering 31 goals and 55 points. Now he rejoined the Platters for his final year of junior hockey during the 88 campaign with 43 goals and 92 points in 66 contests. He set a new franchise record for most goals scored for the Platters with his 86 counter in November, surpassing the previous tally of 82 set by Kirk Muller and Keith Miller. On January 6, 88, he scored his 101st career goals for the Platters in a loss to the Hamilton Steelhawks. He was the first player to score 100 goals for the team. However, the Platters failed to make the playoffs. Now, drafted, he joined the Blackhawks after his junior career was finished and was assigned to Chicago's IHL affiliate, the Saginaw Hawks, coached by Darryl Sutter. Now, he played several years in the minors, mostly for the IHL. Saginaw of the IHL and the Flint Spirits of the IHL in 89, 29 goals and 61 points in 74 contests. 90, he split time with the Indianapolis Lights and the Fort Wayne Comets with 15 goals and 57 contests. He also played with Team Canada that year with 3 goals and 1 helper in 9 contests. 91 with the Fort Wayne Comets, he had 55 goals and 131 points and 16 points in the postseason. 92, he found himself all the way with the Adirondack Red Wings of the AHL, scoring 37 big goals in their successful campaign. Now, when he signed a free agent with the Red Wings, he helped Adirondack win the Calder Cup that year with his great performance. Now, here he gets freaky. The NHL expanded during the 92 offseason, adding 2 squads, the Senators and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Detroit left Loach exposed in the 92 expansion draft. He was selected by Ottawa. He was one of the players selected as part of the Senators' strategy of picking young, talented players who had not succeeded with the original teams. The 93 NHL season saw him make his NHL debut. On October 12, 92, he had his first contest, a 6-3 loss to the Bruins. He appeared in 3 games with the Senators early in the year. However, after going scoreless, the Senators attempted to send him to their AHL affiliate, the New Haven Senators, exposing him to waivers in late October. Loach was quickly picked up by the Kings, however, and earned a spot on the Kings roster. He had a connection to coach Barry Melrose, for whom he played for the Adirondack. And Wayne Gretzky said in published reports, "We got a good guy here." He made his LA debut on Halloween in a 7-1 victory over the Hartford Whalers, inserted the lineup along with forward Robert Lang and defenseman Peter Ahola, replacing scratch forwards Dave Taylor, Pat Conacher, and Bob Kudelski. Loach earned his first NHL point in the contest, and assists on Thomas Sandstrom's goal in the third period. He scored his first NHL goal on November 4th against Ron Tugnut, assists by Charlie Huddy and forward Tony Granado, in the third period of a 6-2 win over the Oilers. He registered his first multi-point NHL game on December 5th assisting on Huddy's first period goal and scoring his own in the third, and a 7-3 hammering of the Whalers. Now, when Loach played in 50 games with the Kings, he had 10 big goals and 23 points, often playing on a line with fellow rookies Jim Hiller and Lang. He did suffer a broken thumb after collision with defenseman Charlie Huddy in practice, missing 11 contests. Loach was also briefly assigned to the Kings IHL affiliate, the Phoenix Roadrunners, and was recalled at the end of December. He played in 4 games with the Roadrunners with 2 goals and 5 points. In his second game after his return on January 1993, he ended up on a line with Yeri Curry and Luke Robitaille, and the three accounted for 4 goals and 9 points that night in a 5-4 victory over the Oilers, with Loach notching 1 goal and 2 assists. The Kings made the 93 Stanley Cup playoffs and got all the way to Stanley Cup final, as the Gretzky-led squad helped them to the Stanley Cup final yet again, as part of the Gretzky legacy. After injuries to Huddy and Taylor, Loach and Jimmy Carson were centered in the lineup for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals versus the Habs, his only NHL playoff contest. Now, from then on, he had a very interesting career. 94 with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, then a couple of campaigns with the San Diego Gulls, then with the Detroit Vipers, then the San Antonio Dragons. He played with the ZSC Lions of the NLA in 98, but did play at San Antonio that year with 36 points. He played with the Long Beach Ice Dogs and the Kansas City Blades in 99, and the Olympia Ljubljana in Slovakia. Missouri River Otters of the UHL in 2000, the Chicago Wolves for 1 goal. 01, Missouri River Otters of the UHL, then back to the Wolves in the playoffs, and 2 more seasons with the Missouri River Otters, and then he wrapped up his career with the Manchester Monarchs of the AHL. Final NHL totals, love this: 265 goals, 378 assists, 643 points, and 53 big points in the playoffs. Now, he did coach the Missouri River Otters of the UHL as player, not a player coach, 16, 17-0 record in 04. Now, after leaving coaching, he worked in the auto industry in the St. Louis area, married with 2 sons. He had his jersey retired by the River Otters, the only player to have his number retired by the team. Now, for several campaigns in the mid-90s, he ran his own hockey school for children in Northern Ontario. He started this while playing for the Vipers, and Red Wing Keith Primo would participate. Loach has ran for 3 years. He even spawned 1 pro NHL hockey player, fellow Hockey Heritage North alumni Curtis McLean. Loach also helped raise money for local charities in Northern Ontario by lending his services to charity hockey tournaments. One in particular is the Canadian Tire Reno Rabaza Memorial Hockey Tournament. And like I said, he unfortunately passed away at the age of 57. OHL Rookie of the Year in 86, IHL Second All-Star Team 91, and the Leo Lamoureux Memorial Trophy, leading scorer in the IHL. So from all the way from the new Liscard Cubs, under-18 AAA team, he also played with the Hallaberry 54s and the St. Mary's Lincolns before ended up with the Guelph Planters. What a talented player, ladies and gentlemen, and what a great name for sports. Everybody was cheering Lonnie Loach home, one of the best hometown heroes in Ontario hockey history, and to go from the minor leagues like he did all the way to Stanley Cup Finals. Expansion made him one of the most beloved players in hockey history. Lonnie, you will be missed. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Hockey Trivia podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.